When humanity first discovered the planet Eryndra, the entire scientific community believed it would be the greatest first contact event in history. The planet was beautiful. Vast oceans, glowing forests, and floating mountains that drifted slowly through the sky like silent giants. Even from orbit, Eryndra looked like something from a dream. But what truly captured everyone's attention was the civilization living there. The Eryndrans were intelligent, technologically advanced, and surprisingly peaceful. Their cities were woven into the environment instead of replacing it. Crystal towers rose from giant living trees, and rivers of soft blue light flowed through their streets. Humanity had encountered alien life before, but never a civilization this advanced, and never one that welcomed us so openly. My name is Commander Daniel Reyes, and I was one of the first human diplomats assigned to the Eryndran homeworld. At least, officially. Unofficially, my past with Eryndra was far more complicated. But no one on Earth knew that. And I intended to keep it that way. Our landing shuttle touched down in the capital city of Lyra'eth just before sunset. The city looked like a masterpiece carved from light and crystal. The sky above shimmered with two small moons, and glowing plants illuminated the streets with gentle blue and violet colors. As our team stepped out of the shuttle, a group of Eryndran ambassadors greeted us. They were tall and elegant, their skin a pale shade of silver that reflected the light like polished metal. Their eyes glowed softly, shifting colors depending on their emotions. One of them stepped forward. "Welcome, humans of Earth." Her voice was calm and musical. "I am Ambassador Lyra'eth. On behalf of our people, we welcome you to Eryndra." Captain Morgan nodded politely. "Thank you. We're honored to be here." The ambassador smiled. "Our people have waited a long time to meet yours." That sentence struck me as strange. Waited? How could they have been waiting for humans? Humanity had only discovered their system 6 months ago. But before I could think about it further, the welcoming ceremony began. The next 2 days passed in a blur of diplomatic meetings and cultural exchanges. The Eryndrans were incredibly curious about humanity. They asked questions about our history, our technology, and even our art and music. But something about the entire situation felt odd. Several Eryndrans kept looking at me longer than necessary. Not hostile, just curious, as if they were trying to remember something. On the 3rd day, the ambassadors gave us a tour of one of the city's outer districts. The area was quieter than the main city center. Large crystal homes were surrounded by gardens filled with glowing plants, and small streams flowed through the streets like natural pathways. "This district is where many of our families live," Ambassador Lyra'eth explained. Suddenly, I noticed a small figure standing near one of the gardens. A child. She looked younger than most Eryndrans I had seen, maybe the equivalent of 8 or 9 in human years. Her silver skin glowed faintly under the light of the twin moons, and her eyes were a deep shade of violet. She was staring directly at me. Not shy, not curious, just staring. I smiled politely. The child tilted her head. Then she walked straight toward me. The ambassadors didn't stop her. "Hello," I said gently. She stopped only a few feet away. "You're the human," she said. Her voice was soft but clear. "That's right." She studied my face carefully. Then she said something that made my heart stop. "My mother already knows you." The words felt like ice running through my veins. I forced a calm expression. "Oh, really?" "Yes." I glanced at the ambassadors. None of them seemed surprised. The child stepped closer. Then she spoke again. "My mother told me about you." I swallowed slowly. "What's your mother's name?" The child smiled slightly. And then she said it. "Lyra." For a moment, the entire world seemed to go silent. I stopped breathing. Lyra. That name hadn't been spoken in 15 years. 15 years earlier, I had been part of a deep space exploration mission aboard the research vessel Aurora Pathfinder. Our mission was simple: explore the outer edges of known space, search for new star systems, and report anything unusual. But something went terribly wrong. A violent gravitational storm damaged our engines and knocked the ship far off course. For 3 days, we drifted through uncharted space. Then we crashed. Not on Eryndra itself, but on one of its distant moons. Most of the crew survived, but our communication systems were destroyed. We were stranded. For months, we tried to repair the ship, but the damage was too severe. Eventually, we accepted the truth. No one was coming. Then something unexpected happened. One night, while searching the surface for materials, I saw lights in the distance. At first, I thought they were reflections from our equipment, but they moved. Someone or something was out there. That's when I met her, Lyra. She wasn't hostile. In fact, she seemed just as surprised to see me as I was to see her. She explained that she was part of a small Eryndran research group studying the moon. They had been observing Earth's early space missions for years. Quietly, carefully, she helped us repair our communications. Thanks to her, our rescue signal finally reached Earth. But during those months stranded on that moon, something else happened. We became friends. Real friends. We talked about everything: our worlds, our histories, our hopes for the future. When the rescue ship finally arrived, saying goodbye was harder than I expected. Before I left, she told me something. One day, she said, our worlds will meet again. I thought it was just a hopeful promise, but I never imagined it would happen like this. Back in the present, I was still staring at the child. Your mother's name is Lyra? I asked quietly. She nodded. Yes. Ambassador Lyra'eth stepped forward. It seems you already know each other. I exhaled slowly. Yes, a long time ago. The child smiled. My mother told me stories about a human explorer who crashed on our moon. My heart pounded. She said he was brave and very stubborn. That sounded exactly like Lyra. And she said, the child continued, that one day he would return. I looked at the ambassadors. Where is she? Lyra'eth smiled. She's been waiting for you. They led me to a quiet part of the city near a large crystal lake. The water glowed softly under the light of the moons. And standing near the edge of the lake was someone I hadn't seen in 15 years. Lyra. She turned slowly as we approached. For a moment, we just looked at each other. Then she smiled. You took longer than I expected. I laughed softly. Interstellar travel is complicated. She walked closer. You kept your promise. I didn't know I made one. You did, she said. When you said humans and Eryndrans would meet again someday. I looked around the glowing city. I guess you were right. Her daughter ran up beside her. Mother, I told him you knew him. Lyra smiled. Yes, you did. She looked back at me. Daniel Reyes, welcome back to Eryndra. For the first time since arriving, everything finally made sense. Humanity thought this was their first contact with Eryndra. But for me, it was a reunion. And sometimes the future of two civilizations begins not with diplomacy or technology, but with an old friendship that survived across the stars.